Lauren Boebert's advantage over her Republican primary opponents is another sign of her dominance. Boebert raised and spent more between April 1 and June 5 than all 5 of her GOP primary opponents combined. U.S. Rep. Lauren Boebert vastly outraised her 5 Republican opponents in the 4th Congressional District in the 2 months leading up to the June 25 primary, while spending heavily on TV and mailers to reach voters, campaign finance reports filed Thursday reveal. The $334,000 Boebert raised from April 1 to June 5 lagged the $624,000 she raised during the lead-up to the primary in 2022. But the money was still enough to eclipse the $178,000 brought in by her 5 GOP competitors combined this year, according to Federal Election Commission reports. The reports, the last ones before the primary, are another indication that Boebert is likely to dominate on June 25. Her Republican opponents have failed to gain financial and political traction in the race, and there is little time to reverse that trend with Coloradans already casting ballots. Despite being the target of daily attacks from 5 other candidates, we have the resources to make a strong final push towards a hard-earned victory on June 25, Drew Sexton, Boebert's campaign manager, said in a written statement. The outcome of the 4th district primary will likely determine who wins in November too, given how favorable the district is to the GOP. Boebert currently represents the 3rd congressional district, based on the western half of Colorado. She switched her re-election bid late last year to the 4th district, which is on the eastern side of the state, to improve her chances of securing another term in Congress after Republican U.S. Rep. Ken Buck announced in November that he was retiring. The Congresswoman won her 3rd district re-election bid in 2022 by just 546 votes. Boebert significantly outspent her opponents on voter outreach from April 1 to June 5 at more than $632,000, including $390,000 on TV ads and mailers. The amount Boebert spent on ads alone was more than the $387,000 spent combined by the 5 other Republican candidates in the race. And Boebert still had more than $681,000 in cash in her campaign's bank account on June 5. Here's a look at how much money Boebert's opponents raised and spent from April 1 to June 5. Deborah Flora, a conservative commentator, raised $70,000 during the most recent reporting period, the highest amount among Boebert's opponents, and spent $119,000, mostly on campaign consulting. She entered the final weeks before Election Day with $118,000 in her campaign's account. Mike Lynch raised $54,000 and had $3,700 in cash left in his campaign's account after spending $53,000 on TV advertising. Logan County Commissioner Jerry Sonnenberg, a former state senator, raised $44,000 and spent $176,000, mostly on advertising and consulting. He had $92,000 left in the bank. State Rep. Richard Holtoff raised $10,000 and spent $37,000, mostly on digital advertising. The campaign had $71,000 in cash. Businessman Peter Yu raised only $225 and spent only $2,200, but had $272,000 in cash left in the final weeks of the primary campaign. That was more than enough to repay the $250,000 in personal funds he loaned to his campaign. The 4th district's population is centered in Douglas County and Loveland, but includes the entire Eastern Plains. It's the safest Republican district of Colorado's 8 U.S. House seats. Buck won his last 2 elections by a hopping 23 percentage points. 3 Democrats are vying to challenge the winner of the Republican primary in the 4th district. All of them are using Boebert's candidacy and the national Democratic frustration with the Congresswoman as a way to raise big sums despite their slim odds in November. Veteran Ike McCorkle, who lost to Buck in the last 2 cycles, raised nearly $465,000, spent $459,000, and had $163,000 in cash on June 5. Tricia Culverese, a former speechwriter and Democratic congressional staffer, raised nearly $99,000, spent about $80,000, and had $53,000 in cash. She owed $51,000 to consultants. Asterisk engineer and addiction recovery advocate John Pedora raised $56,000, spent $62,000, and had $42,000 on June 5. National Republican and Democratic groups are thus far ignoring the contest because it's presumed that the GOP nominee will win in November. Also, on June 25, voters in the 4th District will cast ballots in a special election to determine who serves out the rest of Buck's term, which ends in early January, after he resigned in March. Calvaries is running in that race against former Parker Mayor Greg Lopez, a Republican, and 2 third-party candidates. Lopez raised $40,000 and spent $26,000 from April 1 through June 5. National partisan groups have totally ignored the special election in yet another indication that Republicans are expected to hold the seat.